Trump himself made multiple trips to the state of Georgia. He went there both in official capacity and as a candidate. In fact, he made two trips, two rallies there to Macon and Rome, Georgia, in the closing days of the campaign. Of course, at this point, it looks like it may not have been enough.
Americans are waking up to the news that Joe Biden has taken the lead in Georgia, potentially turning the state blue for the first time since Bill Clinton claimed victory there in 1992. Listen to this clip from CNN as they discuss how Republicans took Georgia for granted and all but assumed that they were going to get the victory.
The situation in Georgia has really changed the shape of this race for the Trump campaign. And let's be clear, the Trump campaign spent a lot of time and effort in the state of Georgia, expecting that to stay in the Republican column. And it will come as a shock to many Republicans that Joe Biden has taken the lead there, because the Trump campaign presented such a stance of confidence about their chances in Georgia. In fact, listen to what campaign manager Bill Stepien told me back in July, just after he'd been named campaign manager, about what was happening in Georgia. Take a listen.
Again, I invite the Democrats to spend a lot of money in the expensive media market of Atlanta, and keep thinking it's for real, because we had the same conversation in 2016.
So back in July, Stepien almost mocking Democrats for their investments in the state of Georgia, pointing to what happened in 2018, where Democrats narrowly lost the race for governor there. And then back in 2016, when President Trump was able to win there. That mocking looks very different now in the light of what the results are and what the results are coming in. We should point out, though, Chris, even though Republicans acted like there was no chance they could lose in Georgia, they spent a lot of time and money there, including what they describe as their most precious resource. President Trump himself made multiple trips to the state of Georgia. He went there both in official capacity and as a candidate. In fact, he made two trips, two rallies there to Macon and Rome, Georgia, in the closing days of the campaign. Of course, at this point, it looks like it may not have been enough.
Early Wednesday morning, Donald Trump said the following, quote, "It is also clear that we have won Georgia. They're never going to catch us. They can't catch us." Early Friday morning, Joe Biden takes the lead in Georgia. George Stephanopoulos of ABC interviewed one of the election officials in the state of Georgia discussing the validity of the results.
You heard the president complaining about fraud, talking about illegal ballots. Have you seen any irregularities, any evidence of widespread irregularities in the counting in the state of Georgia?
The widespread irregularities is always, I love the term voter fraud because it's very vague. We've had reports of specific things. We send investigators out to look for specific evidence and the reality behind those. We always get those in every election. It's a normal thing. We have not seen anything so widespread that it could potentially affect the outcomes. But as you know, when you have a race that's this close, even the smallest thing can affect those outcomes. So we're going to be diligent. The counties are being diligent. They are working hard. They are all exhausted. But we feel like they're doing a good job and they're treating everybody fairly.
Georgia is a state that has been consistently red for the last few elections, and it was all but a foregone conclusion that it would go in favor of Donald Trump. But the fact that Georgia may be the linchpin that gives Joe Biden the victory and gives him the 270 electoral votes that he needs to become president is not by chance. It is the result of the efforts of organizers who have been putting countless hours into registering voters and getting out the vote. The balance of power in the Senate, whether or not the Republicans remain in the majority or the Democrats take over the majority, also hinges on Georgia. And as it stands right now, it appears as though there will be a runoff between Republican David Perdue and John Ossoff, the Democrat, and as well as in the second race, the special election between Kelly Loeffler, Republican, and Raphael Warnock, the Democrat. Those special elections will take place on January 5th, and the entire balance of power in this country hinges on the state of Georgia. I cannot emphasize that this is the result of so many progressive organizers on the ground in Georgia. So many organizations that put energy, countless hours into organizing the people, registering hundreds of thousands of voters, overcoming the voter suppression that snatched the victory from Stacey Abrams in the 2018 gubernatorial race here in the state of Georgia. As a direct result of all of the organizers in the state of Georgia, the entire trajectory of this country will change for the better.